guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ayanna. If you're new here, if you're returning, hey girl, hey. If you're new, I hope you subscribe and stay. I'm back today with another mukbang. Bang, 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 daddy, please. I got a story time today for my man. Y'all know these girls is crazy. I have pizza today from this local pizza shop here. I didn't feel like cooking and it's hot outside. But we're gonna jump right in before I forget, because y'all know I can't remember stuff. But anyway, yeah, I just got a grab and go. Really good pizza. But anyway, yeah, this story is for my man. I'm gonna call the girl in the story. Her name is gonna be, I'm gonna call her Bree Bree. So they start the story off. Oh yeah. They start the story off with this girl named Bree Bree. She's a good girl. She was in high school, graduated high school, jumped into the RN program. Her and her mom had a boutique, but she decided that she wanted to stop doing the boutique and just focus on her studies as an RN to be a nurse. They kept calling her a nurse, but at the end of the story, they said she never completed the program, so I wasn't quite sure about that. One night, Bree Bree went out with her friends. She ran into this old boyfriend of hers from junior high. I'm so hungry. Boyfriend from junior high. I'm gonna call him Brian. Brian then turned into something magical to Bree Bree. He had tattoos. He looked good. He was a drug dealer. He turned into a street dude. So she was infatuated with that. They dated. They ended up dating. They kicked it off that night. They ended up dating for a few months. After a few months, she moved in with him. Ladies, don't never move in with a man. She moved in with Brian. So after they moved in together, she realizes that he ain't the type of drug dealer that she thought, but she was addicted to that lifestyle. Come to find out, Brian was a corner boy, basically. He was describing him as he sold whatever type of drug he could get his hands on. He mismanaged his money. Like, he just wasn't a drug dealer, the type that you want to deal with. Not that you want to deal with him at all, but just not the typical drug dealer. He was a corner boy. So while they dating, she loses herself. Bree Bree starts to lose herself. Her mom is in the video. She's describing Bree Bree as, like, she starts becoming distant because Brian is controlling. She stops going to RN school, girl. This girl then turned into a booster, y'all. She done got caught stealing, got arrested for stealing clothes. He got her just out of her mind, in love. She stopped going to school to be a booster. She was almost done with the RN program, but she stopped school because of love. She probably wanted to spend all the time with him, and ended up in trouble, just going down the wrong path in life. So he ended up changing her life. You know, she was from a completely good girl to a bad girl. So time goes on. 2 years later, Bree Bree ends up pregnant. She finds out about a brother that Brian has. They call him a half brother, but you know, black people don't really call him half brother. Half brother, you my brother, you my brother. I'm gonna call Brian's brother Ray. So she ends up finding about, you know, the little beef. Well, not beef, but his brother Ray. They had different moms, I guess, but they grew up close, but they end up separating as adults. Like, Ray was into selling drugs too, but Ray was the more functional drug dealer. Like, he knew better. He knew stuff to do. Like, Ray didn't get arrested. Ray had a job. He had a sanitation job for the city. So no matter what he was doing, he had a backup plan. So he had money coming in. And they described Ray as a ladies' man. You know, he got money. And the ladies loved him. So Ray didn't really deal with his brother like that anymore, because Brian, even though he had money like that, he was flashy. And they said he had a habit of using his own product, with whatever that is, because he sold whatever he can get his hands on. She should have knew right there, y'all, if something was wrong. So Brian had a problem with this. Like, we grew up together. Like, you know, you're supposed to be my brother. Talking about Ray, he was jealous of him because he was a ladies' man. He had all the ladies. He had the money, and he had a real job. He just was more, he managed his money better. So time goes on. Brian is just out here wasting air in the streets. He ends up meeting this guy named a guy, one of his friends, I'm gonna just call him Timmy. Ends up meeting Timmy, another lowlife. Timmy ends up becoming like best friends with Brian. They ripping and running the streets. They show them, you know, riding the car all day together, selling drugs, staying at hotels. Bree is going along with them to do this. She's pregnant. It's 2 years into the relationship. She's riding along, riding the streets, staying in hotels with them or whatnot. You know, because she's supporting her man or whatever, I guess. I don't know, child, but they show her doing this. So she ends up getting into that life real deep, like becoming a ride along for drug sales. You can go to jail for that too. But she didn't know no better. She never been in trouble. So a few months later, Brandon gets caught in a drug deal for probably about the 7th time. He gets arrested. This time they sent him to jail. They never said how long his sentence was, but he ended up getting released early after 6 months on house arrest. During this time, Bree had her son. Bree had started her own meal prepping business because she wasn't in nursing school no more, and obviously she couldn't go back because she got caught stealing. So she started her own meal prepping business for the less fortunate. However, it was not enough money coming in to take care of people like that. So she was happy for Brian to get out because she needed some help. She got a mouth to feed now and they needed a place to stay. So when Brian gets out, he's on house arrest. So of course Timmy's coming over, telling him everything that's going on in the streets. One day he comes and tells him about his brother. Like, Ray out here doing his thing. You know, he got money. He got all the girls. He even got some of your old girls. Your old girlfriends, Brian. Ray's his brother. He's dating his brothers as girlfriends. Brian immediately gets upset, y'all. He rips off his house arrest thing, you know, ankle thing. I don't know, monitor, ankle monitor. And leaves the house. Goes on a run for days.
You better lay low.
He goes on a run. He comes up with his plans to rob his brother. Yes, you heard me. Rob his brother. So he comes back to the house, tells Bree, talks her into somehow sending seductive pictures to his brother, Ray. Like, oh, I want to meet up with you. She's taking photos, sexy photos. Like, oh, I want to meet up with you. Ray falls for it. First of all, how you let a man talk you into sending sexy photos to his own brother? Like, that's your baby's uncle. Like, I don't know, females is weird. But anyway, she ends up sending the pictures. Ray falls for it, like, oh, let's meet up or whatever. She does this even after Brian tells her he's going to rob his brother. So she's now an accomplice to this because she know what was going on. So the night comes where she's supposed to meet up with the brother Ray. They pull up on a secluded side street. Ray hops up the car like, what's up? Why Ray did that, I don't know. Because that's his brother. He was in the wrong too. She jumped out the car like, what's up? They talking to each other. But before anything could even get a real conversation, could get started, Ryan jumps out the car with the gun and just starts shooting his brother, y'all. Like he just tried to kill his son or something. And here go they show Bree going, oh my god. Well, girl, what did you think was about to happen? Why would you be comfortable with a man robbing his own brother? You ain't got no love coming if he will do this to his own brother. But anyway, he ends up shooting him. Ray tries to get away. He runs about 200 feet and collapses. So Brian thinks he got a good shot, like he probably killed him. He ends up jumping in his car, takes his phones, his brother's phones and his money, whatever else he could find in there. Then they take the truck. He calls Timmy and tells Timmy to follow him. They took the truck to a parking lot of an old hotel or something. He ended up calling the people, you know, thinking he got some solid customers. The customers ain't messing with Brian. They know he's unruly, he's untrustworthy, all that. So they like, oh, we loyal to Ray. So he just stole these phones and robbed his brothers for nothing because these people ain't messing with him. The junkies or whatever he was selling are not messing with him. So he did all of that for nothing, y'all. Like literally nothing. They go on a run for a couple weeks. The next morning after the shooting, it was a construction worker, a construction lot. A construction worker found Ray's body bleeding out in the street. Called 911. Called 911. They thought he was gonna make it at first. However, he was laying there for hours just bleeding out. He ended up passing away, unfortunately. Ray didn't make it. So the next day, that news got out that, you know, Ray was dead. One of Ray's friends called in and told the police, like, hey, he told me before if something happens to him, it's probably my brother. Which is crazy. Like, how you feel like that about your siblings? Like, how do y'all grow up so evil like that? But the friends called in with the tip, and the police already were looking for Brian because he was supposed to be on house arrest and he didn't escape. Let's just eliminate y'all. Brian didn't escape, so 3 weeks go by, they could not find him. Eventually he shows up. Him and Bree are at a lake, at a park or whatever, enjoying their day like nothing ever happened. Like, he didn't kill nobody, like she didn't sit there and watch it. When they leave the lake, it's the father and son in the street. Brian almost hits this little random boy in the street. So a natural parent instinct, the dad is like, hey bro, you almost hit my son, you know, cussing him out or whatever. Brian is just gone mentally. He's mad at the dad for yelling at him for almost hitting his son, y'all. Like, he jumps out the car like, get out, you should have got out the way. Bree finally got some sense in her head. She was yelling like, please stop, please stop. He wouldn't listen. Bree then jumps in the driver's seat and pulls off. She just left Brian there, which she should have did a long time ago. She left him there. She goes to a parking lot, calls her insurance company, and acts like her car was stolen and just abandoned in a lot. The police don't, or the insurance people don't believe her, so they search the car. They find the gun that killed Ray. So they call the police. You know, like, you might want to come investigate this or whatever. In the meantime, there were bystanders at the lake where Brian and little boy and dad were. So the police was being called and Brian has no idea. So he took off on foot. And he ended up getting away because by the time the police got there, he was gone. But Bree, on the other hand, Bree, once they found the gun, they took her downtown like, oh, this is the gun. We've been looking for it, both of y'all. They took her to the station. She didn't think nothing was happening because she'd never been in trouble and she didn't kill him. But they took her to the station, questioned her. She told them what happened, but she didn't tell them everything. They said she knew more than she would actually tell. Baby girl, you already in trouble, but they end up questioning her. During this time, she spends 2 days in jail. Brian is nowhere to be found. So not only did he set her up to be an accomplice to this murder of his own brother, he ain't thought about her, ain't trying to come bond her out, ain't trying to come see about her or nothing. She's in jail for you, my boy. So with 2 days go by, somebody calls in a tip of where Brian is. He gets arrested. They already know what happened, so they charge him with carjacking, murder, and robbery. He gets a life. His friend Timmy is up getting, for being an accomplice to the murder, his friend Timmy only gets 5 years. I mean, he knew what was about to happen. He knew they was going out there. He probably told him he was going to kill him. He knew he shot him. He drove the car. He followed him. He got on 5 years, y'all. That's it. And your girl Bree, she just lost out on everything. She got sentenced to, she got charges of accomplice to the murder or whatever. They gave her 20 years to life with the chance of probation after 20 years. So she done lost the ability to see her son and see her family. Her mom is upset. Her mom, they asked her mom, are you mad at Brian? And she's like, no, I'm not mad at Brian, but I'm not happy with them. Like, be mad at your daughter. That's her own choice. Yeah, you should be mad at Brian because he maybe talked her into it, but that's a grown woman. Y'all gotta stop giving these women a pass. Ain't that much love in the world that's gonna make me set up. Hey, if you don't like your own brother, baby, you don't like me. I'm not setting up nobody, let alone a family member. Do that shit on your own. If you that broke and can't get no money, baby, you need to find something else to do. Go work at McDonald's. But anyway, y'all, yeah, that story was kind of crazy to me because I just can't believe the stuff these women go through to keep a man. But yeah, I can't believe that the stuff that women do, man. These stories get crazier and crazier. This is for my man. I will have it linked below. And that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.